it says Cobalt features we should have removed. And this is actually going to be both of those things. And I'm going to start with some history. Cobalt was made by Oxeye Game Studio, which is a small indie company founded by Jeb. And this was founded way before Mojang, and we've been making games forever, basically, but always in a very small scale. And at some point, we decided to create Cobalt because we were not making a game, so we just picked an old prototype and decided to make it full. And then later on, when Jeb got hired by Mojang, we got in contact with them and arranged for a publishing deal. So they took in our projects under their brand, and we got help with all kinds of things, like, for example, being here today. Cobalt has been a very, let's say, chaotic project. For the first year, it was a single-player game where we were doing like small single-player maps and story. And then after a while, we decided that, like after the first Game Developers Conference, when we were showing the game on the show floor, we decided to add local multiplayer, like on the floor, and because it was more fun to play 2 players than 1 when you're showing on a floor. And it was so much fun that we decided to change the focus of the entire game. So now it became like a multiplayer game. And then we spent a year doing that, and after a while, we realized like adding multiplayer and especially networking to the game was going to be too difficult. So we went back to a single-player game and more story, and in the end, we had so many different things, like modes, features, things everywhere. And I would like just to show a couple of those features now that we have added throughout the history of the game. And I'm going to... Oh, it's fine. And I'm going to start with, like, when we started making the game, we did not want to add any form of animated frames because we were doing a lot of like slowdowns. So the time scale in the game goes from really fast to really slow. So sometimes an animation might take many seconds, and trying to fill that up with actually bitmap sprites is really cumbersome. So we decided to actually build all the characters out of small parts instead and animate them with math. So this is on the topic of eye shadow for robots. And if we look at this robot here, you'll see that each little part of the robot is like a separate sprite. And they are then colored individually on the character, but also moved individually. I'm not sure if I could show this, but oh, never mind. Bad example.
Can you open the rig editor?
Yes. So I can show it this way, actually. So this is the character, even though it might be small for you. But you can see like there is a head, and you can move the head around, and then there is a leg. You can move the leg around, and a foot. And where is the hand? There's the hand. And you can see that the hands are attached through little joints, sort of. That's that one. And let's move to, whoops. And then, during the development of this, at one point, I'm not sure exactly which date it was, but we were deciding to have some kind of travel between stars, and the game was supposed to take place on different planets. And there was supposed to be all these stars around. So to do that, we of course had to add like some kind of star field. But in the nature of like Cobalt development, we developed like a Cobalt galaxy simulation instead. So if you look at this thing here, I'll just show it sort of. You can see like there's a full 3D galaxy, and if we go closer, oops. You can also see that everything has like a orbit around the planet, and all the planets are orbiting around something. And then at the very end, you're playing on this planet, and the result is like something along the lines of these little white dots in the background. You can barely see them, but I'll remove the clouds. Oops. So you can see little white dots in the background here. They are projected from the 3D sky. And you can see here a soul in the background named planet. That's the Earth system. So it's a stupid feature. We probably should have removed it. But it's in there now. And
it even had a system that when you created a new map, you would have to say where on the planet the map was located, so we could find the correct coordinates for the star system that you would be able to see from that position.
yeah. So I was actually talking to Jason Rohrer about this feature in the last GDC, and he just told me I was really stupid to put so much time into things nobody cares about. And perhaps it's true. But I think also it has resulted in some really fun features. For example, this is part of the code. That's not part of it. For example, like dancing, which is a feature that was completely silly. And I'll show it here. Oops. OK, so you see, I've changed the actual rig of the character here. So I'll just restart it, because that's silly. There we go. OK, so dancing in this game, I'm not sure if the music in the audio can be heard now, but it would be a great time. So anytime there is an audio source somewhere, like you see these speakers are emitting little notes, if you start like moving in the rhythm of the notes, you'll start establishing a baseline for the BPM. And at some point, you'll start dancing. And if you dance well, you will be able to charm. Please, thank you. I need to focus.
You need 2 hands to dance properly.
So this came from the fact that Pontus, one of the developers, thought it was so fun just to jump around to the tune of music. And it's been in the game since.
Yeah.
And now I've charmed the guy in the middle here, or the robot.
Yeah.
And if I start a fight, he'll be on my side, sort of. And
oh, watch out.
all right. And my dancing wasn't good enough, so it stopped there. That's one fun thing that actually ended up in the game. And when you're playing the full game, the story mode and everything, there is never ever going to be any like indication that you actually can do this. The only hint that exists is that there are some achievements associated with dancing, like, oh, start dancing, you get an achievement. But otherwise, it's a hidden feature, and that's sort of how I like it, because, I don't know, it's not really necessary to the game, but it's just there. And another thing that was silly, or like a consequence of a feature, is that when we designed the game, we wanted the game to be able to, like, all characters should be controllable. Because at one point we wanted to be able to hack robots. So then one robot has to be able to control another robot. But the consequence was that all characters are controllable. So in the last MINECON, someone asked me if you could control a fish. And this time I prepared it because I thought it was a fun example of how it works. So here I'm like controlling a fish in my pond. Sure. Yeah. A fish. And as you know, fishes are great in water, but they're not so great on land. So if I sort of jump up on land, all I can really do is sort of painfully flap around a little bit. But, you know, I'm still pretty dangerous. Just gotta get there. Oh, damn it. Ah. Well, I was going to bite him in the back, but it tipped me over, and then I was dead. So how we actually ended up using these things in this game was actually a little bit different. So you can't actually really control the fish anywhere in the game, but you can control other things through the system. So for example, you'll sometimes meet beasts such as this hamster, and it's really dangerous, but if you get on the back, you can sort of ride it until it becomes friendly, and then you can ride it instead. And then you have a hamster. And hamsters are really imbalanced in the way that, and also,
Okay.
so, and they all work with when you punch, the hamster bites. So if I sort of jump in here and punch, he'll bite everything.
Yeah, and the hamster is super strong.
And this works in local arcade modes as well, which is usually pretty fun. Moving on to the next thing. Another consequence of the whole controlling actors feature was that in the game we designed a bunch of alarms and laser alarms and security cameras that sort of detect you when you try to go somewhere and they trigger an alarm. But since everything is an actor or like a character, you can control those too. So at first we were sort of thinking about what would the purpose of controlling a security camera be? But as an example, maybe you're walking in a map like this dangerous area, and you don't know what's ahead of you, and you see a security camera, and then you take control of it, and then you can control where it's looking, and it will give you a view of where it's looking. And then suddenly we see a big robot, which is really dangerous. And now that we know this, maybe we can more effectively take care of it. But you know, knowing is only half the battle. And if it's really dangerous, you're not going to make it anyway. And then I would like to talk about something else.
Well, there's actually a Cobalt tournament going on in the Cobalt booth. So one of the community members is helping us with that.
Yes.
He was supposed to be here, but now...
Oh, yeah, there they are.
There he is.
The
Okay, so there's
three people in green shirts. If you would like to stand up, please, and take the applause. Applause. So they've been with us helping, they've been in the Cobalt community for a very, very long time, like staying in our IRC channel and posting forums and making maps and everything. And now they're here volunteering, helping us with the booth. And I know, especially a janitor in the edge there, he has made many of the maps that you'll be playing tonight or today at the booth. And you can see it by, if you're looking at the author string, it says like by janitor. That's made by him. And this is all thanks to the map editor, which when we released it, we always knew we would do that because we made a map editor as a tool for everybody to use. But what they've made with it sort of sometimes really surprised us, because sometimes when you're working on a game for a long time, you don't always know what the best design for something is. And you get stuck in old habits, or you get complacent and start designing bad things. So I would like to talk a little bit about something that Janitor did, and that is he designed a map for a for a game mode that's called Team Strike. And it looks like this. And I don't know if you see what I see, but when we first played this map, we thought it was a lot of fun, but we didn't actually know first why. And when we started comparing it with some of our own maps, I can show that now, we realized something that we had been lacking for a long time. And that is that we had failed to design the maps around a simple concept of rooms and choke points. Which, if you know Team Strike, I don't know who has played Team Strike here? 3, okay. Basically, Team Strike is a game mode where you are 4 players in each team, and when you die and you can't respawn again. So dying is a very punished action in Team Strike. So you need to always weigh your risks versus your rewards when you're doing an engagement in the map, or in the game. In our maps, we used mostly corridors where you just run towards your enemy, shoot grenades, shoot bullets. Hopefully you die or you win, and then it's over. What Rain has, as I'm trying to illustrate with this green-red image, is areas that are like shut off by choke points, where everything gets smaller again, thinner. And that means when you've moved into a room, you have a lot of movement, a lot of space to move around on. So if a grenade comes into your room, you can jump up, you can walk forward, move back. But if you're trying to walk into a room, you are standing on a very tight space. And if there is a grenade coming there, you will probably not be able to dodge it. Which means moving through rooms is a risk. And when you have risks of moving, you have incentives to stay put. And when you have incentives to stay put, that creates situations where some people want to stay in a room and other people will start to flank them from another direction. So you will have a situation where you're standing in a room, you feel it safe, but you're slowly seeing a flank forming. And then you will have to decide, do you want to push out somewhere? Do you want to stay? Do you want to retreat? Do you want to handle one edge at a time? And this created a great design. And you'll be able to play it over there later. And I would personally like to thank Janitor for this achievement. And as a result of this map, we redesigned all our other maps. And unfortunately, I don't have the old versions here, but all of them have been redesigned with choke points in consideration. I'm wondering who here sort of knows how Cobalt works? A few. Like, should I explain some basic things? Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll show this. So one of the primary things, as you maybe saw now in the demo, is that in Cobalt, whoops. When bullets get close to you, time slows down around you, and you get more time to think about your actions. But you can also make bullets fly back at your opponent. And this is achieved by rolling. So as this is trying to illustrate, when you get shot, if you roll, the bullets will fly back. Is that understood? Yes? Yes. And for the longest time, Cobalt had rolling, which was really imbalanced. And I'm sure some of the community members will remember the time where, like, if you pressed roll a lot, you would probably perform better, because there was barely any penalty to rolling at all. So I would just like to share like a design anecdote, which happened maybe in the last 2 months. And that was that we decided to add a vulnerability. And if you see in this illustration, there is like a red arc. And that's illustrating that when you're rolling, you are still vulnerable at your feet. And when you first think about this, it might sound non-significant, but it changes many things. Like, first of all, suddenly the direction you roll in has an effect. Like, if you're rolling right and you get shot from the right, your first phase of your roll will be the defense. But if you roll right and you get shot from behind, suddenly the first phase of your roll will expose a vulnerability behind you. Which means that if you have an enemy on your left and on your right, suddenly rolling is really dangerous, because if you get shot from both directions at the same time, you will probably die. Which ties into what I talked before about the team strike and flanking and moving around things. I'm not sure like how to describe how amazing this is, but for me it changed everything in a way that, like, suddenly me and Pontus would sit and play, and just rolling wouldn't be the obvious move anymore. Sometimes you would have to roll, sometimes you would have to fall back, jump. And this change happened like within the last 3 months. And I'm not sure if it justifies a 5-year development time, but this is sort of the path we've taken, and now we're here. And I'm not sure what else to talk about, but do you have any questions?
Well, you could talk about the release.
All right, yeah, all right. Let's talk about the future. I forgot about that. So what's new in Cobalt world? Well, for the last year or so, we've been porting Cobalt to consoles. So at some point later, there is no date official yet, but we're going to be releasing it for 360 and Xbox One. And part of that is that we're also adding online multiplayer to the console version. And since we're adding that to the console version, which runs BitSquid, we might also get that for a Steam release. But we are still sort of figuring out the details. But unfortunately, since we're sort of middle of development and I'm just getting new updates all the time, the network code is a little bit weird right now, but I can just show the fact that it actually sort of works here, sort of as a first, I guess. I guess it's never been seen before. Cobalt networking. And what doesn't work right now is the fact that for some reason the client's camera doesn't show the actual like game mode stuff, but that happened yesterday, so I don't know. So it works. I can throw grenades and people explode. And I'm sorry about the weird bug, but it's guess what happens. But it's coming along, and we're working on it. And I know it's been a long time, but I feel it's worth it. I think, at least. And right now we have, as Jeb said before, we have a tournament going on over at the Cobalt area. And I think they're posting like best times. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, we're posting best times for some challenges. And every time someone beats the best time, you get the game for free. And you just go there, beat the best score or time, tell one of those in green, and they'll sort you out. And that's the deal. No. Do you have questions? Yes, there's a question.
How much does the game actually cost?
How much does the game actually cost? Right at the moment, it costs €10.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it's like €9.95 or something like that right now. Yes.
As I remember it, the pricing scheme was €10 for alpha, 15 for beta, and 20 for gold, as it was called on the website.
Can you take it a bit louder?
As I remember, the pricing scheme was 10 for alpha, 20 for beta, no, 15 for beta, and 20 for full.
Yes. Well, yeah, exactly. So right now we're still in alpha, so if you buy it now, it still costs €10. And once we're getting closer to release, we'll change to beta and then full. And according to our old plan, that was the pricing model. We don't know if that's going to be the case in the future, but that was the original plan. Yes.
How long did adding the Galaxy simulation take you?
Not that long, actually. Once you get started on like a feature like that, it goes pretty fast because it's pretty fun. So I don't actually remember, but probably not more than a couple of days, probably.
Did you have to do any research into the simulation itself, or did you just know that stuff from your previous work?
Well, not into the actual simulation. I did a couple of searches for how to calculate planetary orbits based on mass. So none of the orbit times are defined, only mass and the distance from orbiting body.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think it's accurate. Yes.
If I already own the game, can I give it to a friend if I bid time?
What was that?
If I already own the game, can I give it to a friend if I bid the time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. No problem.
Where is Pontus?
Pontus is attending a wedding. Pontus is the last third of Oxai. So Oxai is Jens, me, and Pontus, and he has been on every panel before, but this time weddings.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Is there a way to support the game further without actually buying the game over and over again?
Not at the moment.
No. Well, you can like help out in any way you can, like helping us fix bugs, helping us polish the maps that we have, giving us feedback on everything that we're doing wrong or right, and being here and maybe as a form of directly helping today, I guess you could go to the booth and try to beat the best score.
And you can also buy Cobalt to all your friends and family, I guess.
Yeah, for the whole extended family.
You're right, guys. For the Galaxy, like solar system calculations, do you draw any inspiration from like Galaxy simulations and things like KSP, for example, Kerbal Space Program?
If we did an iterations.
No, if inspiration.
Inspiration. I'm not sure because the Galaxy simulation, I think it was implemented maybe 4 years ago, and when was KSP started?
That was about a year and a half ago, so it probably got it from you, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I don't remember being inspired by that, but I am inspired by KSP in general because that's a great game. Does anybody else have a question?
I think one of the reasons why the Galaxy editor was implemented was because the single-player campaign was supposed to be about traveling between planets. So,
yeah.
And the way, at least I know Daniel works, is that you can't just make things up. It has to actually be there. So,
yeah.
So obviously we needed a Galaxy editor.
Obviously. I'm sorry.
No, I was joking about this. Yesterday we were debugging a feature, and on one of the grenades, like they are just really tiny on the screen. When we were slowing down the game to see where the bug was, I noticed for the first time, even though this particular grenade had been in the game for, I think,
since the first grenade.
Yeah, essentially. So it's 4.5 years or something. Then I noticed that the pin on the grenade was rotating, and that's the difference is like it's like 3 pixels changing, and I was like, Daniel, why did you do this?
I don't know.
But
everything worth doing is worth doing well, I guess. I don't know.
Exactly,
yeah.
Because it's like your craftsmanship. You know the pin is rotating.
Yeah.
So that is what matters in Cobalt.
Yes. And I think I have like 30 minutes more, and so I'm thinking maybe I should just start challenging people one-on-one on stage, and then that'll be that'll be the show.
Yeah.
Sure. Who is first? I guess take it in the front here.
Yeah. Yeah, so our community map editor just wanted to let you know that he's going back to make sure that the tournament runs well. So you can always go to the booth to participate.
So for those who haven't seen Cobalt, I guess this is kind of a demo of how it could look like when you're playing. And if you find it anywhere in there interesting, there is 10 computers over there later.
Okay. Okay, so Daniel is the one called Alex, and our challenger here is the one called Steve. So Daniel starts off lightly. Yeah. Yeah. So what Daniel is explaining now is that usually when you play this game, you will fire weapons in a straight line. So in order to aim at other targets, we have an auto-aim system which activates when you either press up or you duck or you're rolling. Also grenades, they use Newtonian physics. So if you jump and release a grenade, it will get more momentum upwards. So it takes a little bit of practice in order to get the grenades where you want them. But obviously, Daniel is an expert on that. And also... Oh, gonna punch it? It's gonna... Yeah. And then, as we talked about the rolling, it deflects most bullets, but not explosives. Oops. And as you can see, when you're nearby dangerous things, the game slows down, which allows you to react. But it's also, the slowdown is only local, so other players can move around at the normal speed. So you can use it as a strategic advantage as well. So that was the grenade with the spinning pin on. Did you see the pin? Well, it's there. Watch out.
So deathmatch, oh, I actually forgot to mention. So deathmatch is actually only like one of the game modes, and this is sort of one of the most competitive versus modes. But there are also cooperative modes where you're playing together versus an army of hamsters and whatever, and like challenge modes where you're trying to beat time trials, and like capture the flag modes where you're trying to do objectives. Thank you for a good game. Who else wants to try? Maybe.
We have plenty of challengers now.
Yep, you pick.
Me? No. Let's someone.
I mean, pick the challenger.
Oh, okay, you in the blue stripe. there's no mercy here. You can look at this screen. So again, Daniel is the green character, and our challenger is the purple one. So. Oop. Whoa. Way! Oh. Daniel is trying the fist, getting a weapon instead. And as I mentioned, we have the auto-aiming, but there are a bunch of things that affect how well you auto-aim. For instance, the flashbang grenades, they turn off your auto-aim. And the flashbang also prevents you from picking up items. Hold down. You need to hold down to pick that up. Yeah. Hold down. Oh, watch out. We have a fist fight in the middle. Wow. Yeah, absolutely. Our challenger got another point. Yeah, well, make a comeback. Whoa. Oh. What's up? So this scary music essentially means match point, and there's game, yeah. Good try. Thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you. Afterwards. Yeah, thank you. Hey. No, no Mojang.
The guy in the back who's very anxious to play is Kappe.
No Mojang.
He is from
please.
Mojang.
Yeah.
He does not get to play.
Yeah, you in the orange t-shirt. Hi. Okay? So this is your first time? Yeah, we can bring up someone else. So you could, if that. Let's bring up. Sure. So do we have someone else? You in the front on second row here. Come on. Okay, we're changing map.
I guess I could give them like a live tutorial and for everybody else. So you jump on A, all right? And then on this right shoulder button, you roll. The small one there, the bumper. Yeah, that one up here. And on X, you throw or use whatever you're holding in your hand. So X is the like always shoot button. So you throw the grenades or do whatever you want there. And then if you hold the analog stick down, you will duck. And while you're ducking, as Jens explained before, you will aim at targets. Right? Okay, wait. This is gonna take a very long time. Whoops. We have to change this. Let's put it on 5. Okay. Press A. You press A to jump.
Yay, we've got 1 point.
X.
Oh, it's tied again. You press B, and you toggle through them. You're pressing B several times. You can toggle grenades, and the same thing. If you want to toggle ranged weapons, it's Y. Yeah. Yes. You just you know what your addictive is. Yes. Don't be afraid. Oh! They cautiously. Oh! Nice.
So if you press this one and you're doing that, you will roll, and that will deflect bullets back from it. So try that. So as you can see, purple there spawned a bird. And you can ride this bird if you want. Good dodge. Currently, there is no time limit implemented in this game.
Yay, and we have
And we
a
have a
winner.
winner.
Congratulations, system.
Good job.
We're gonna
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have a challenger? Oh, hi. A challenger for Daniel.
Yes, let's pick this one here.
Yeah. Okay. And you played this before? Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this man here actually has a couple of maps he made himself on his USB stick. So he's going to stick his USB stick into my computer.
Total security here.
So he's got home turf this time, I think.
Okay. So it didn't work? Okay. Well, who has designed this map?
So this is a community map. I think it was. Oh wait, it's like a collaboration between two people, and it's one of them is janitor, and the other one was, I think it was ISO or something, or something like that. A name starting with I at least. Yeah, that guy. That guy.
Yeah. Watch out. So now we have Daniel playing the purple Steve. Oh, nice. Woo. Wow, shit. Wow. So there's a grenade that creates a slow down field that you can use to lock in people. What is it called now again?
The what?
The slowdown grenade.
Oh, it's the chrono bomb, I guess.
Oh yeah, the chrono bomb. Oh.
As you could see there, when you lose your head, your body still moves on to shoot. So his dying body actually was the one that got me there.
Uh-oh, problem. Yeah, it's very even. Don't open it. Oh, oh, oh. Ooh, nice. Whoa. Whoop. Got trapped. Oh, oh. Oh, 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 got it. No!
Yes. So the champion has been beaten. The show is over.
Yeah.
Pack your bags. No, let's end on a high note, I guess. Maybe you in the first row want to say a couple of words. No, okay, no. Maybe you? No? No, okay.
Well,
I would just like to say, everybody who showed up today, thank you very much. Your presence has been noted.
thank
Yes.
you very much. Thank you. And as we said, there's a Cobalt booth. Daniel will be there most of the time, so
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll gladly accept your challenge. Yeah.
Was it awkward energy? I'm trying to forget young boy. Never mind.
Junk boy, hey.
Marcus.